Have you ever felt kind of stuck when you're trying to explain your daily routine, or maybe just what's happening this very second? Yeah, you're definitely not alone. So today, we're going to master the present tense in English. We're going to build a really simple toolkit to talk about habits, current actions, and even how to give instructions. So let's dive in.
Okay, so here's our game plan. First up, we're going to tackle the everyday stuff with the present simple. Then, we'll zoom right in on the right now with the present continuous. After that, we'll see how they play together, and we'll finish up by learning how to take action with commands. It's a really clear path to start speaking about the present with a lot more confidence.
All right, first up is the bedrock of the present tense, the present simple. This is your go-to, your workhorse tense for facts, habits, and all those little routines that make up your daily life.
So what's its main job? Well, think of the present simple as the tense for stability, for things that are true. It covers big facts like the earth revolves around the sun, and those routines that are the backbone of our lives. Like I drink coffee every morning. It's for the constants.
Now, the structure is super straightforward, but there is one golden rule you just can't forget. For I, you, we, and they, the verb stays in its basic form. No changes. But for that third person, he, she, or it, you've got to add that S. He works, she eats. It's just a tiny little letter, but it signals you're talking about someone else, and it's a huge giveaway of fluent English.
Okay, that's great for saying what is true, but what about the opposite? How do we say that something doesn't happen? The solution is to bring in what we call a helper verb. We use do not or don't and does not or doesn't. And here's the cool part. Notice how the main verb like work or have goes right back to its original base form. That helper verb does takes care of that S for us.
So let's see this in action. For example, you do not have a computer. Or, more naturally, we don't start work at 8 a.m. And for the third person, see how it switches to does? He does not live in Los Angeles, or he doesn't have a car. The pattern is really simple and consistent once you get the hang of it.
Now, when it comes to asking questions, there are two different paths to take. The verb be is special. It's kind of famous. You just swap the subject and the verb. You are becomes are you. Easy, right? But for basically every other verb out there, you need that helper, do or does, right at the beginning. You work becomes do you work.
Okay, time for a quick check-in. Take a look at the question on the screen. Which one is right, A or B? Think about that helper verb rule we just talked about. I'll give you a second.
And the answer is A. Does he finish work on time? So why is that? Because once you bring in does, the main verb gets to relax and go back to its base form. You don't need that S anymore. This is a super common mistake, so don't worry, but now you know the secret. Does all the heavy lifting for you.
Excellent. We've built the foundation for talking about stable routines. But life isn't just routines, it's about action. So now let's switch gears and talk about what's happening right this second. This is the tense for the now. If an action is in progress, something you could actually see happening as we speak, the present continuous is exactly what you need. You can think of it as the action tense.
The structure here is kind of like a two-part recipe. First, you need the right form of the verb to be. That's am, is, or are. Then you just add ing to your main verb. For instance, she is wearing a dress. Both of those pieces have to be there for it to work. It's a team effort.
Now, adding that ing is usually pretty straightforward, but English spelling loves to set a few traps. Just look at the verb shop. Because it ends in a short vowel in a consonant, we actually have to double that last letter before adding ing to make it shopping. It's one of those small details, but getting these spelling rules right makes your writing look so much more professional. And making it negative? Oh, this is the easy part. You just find that be verb, is, am, are, and slide the word not right after it. He is wearing a tie becomes he is not wearing a hat. The ing part? It stays exactly the same. So simple.
All right, so we have our two main tools for the present. We've got the present simple and the present continuous. The real magic, though, comes from knowing which one to pick and when to use it.
And this slide pretty much lays it all out. The simple tense is for permanent things, facts like the sun rises, and stable situations like Robert lives in London. The continuous tense, on the other hand, is for what's temporary, what's happening now, like it is raining, or Robert is watching TV. Permanent versus temporary. That's the key difference.
Let's look at another contrast to really nail this down.
Giorgio plays golf every weekend. See? That's a habit, a routine. It's just what he does. So we use the present simple. But then look at Julia. She is playing lots of golf these days. This describes a temporary, current focus. It's not necessarily what she does forever, but it is what she's doing around this present moment.
So far, we've talked about describing the present, but what about actually shaping it? Let's move on to our final section, how to tell people what to do using imperatives. You know, sometimes one word is all you need. This is an imperative in its most powerful, most direct form. An imperative is really just a command. And the best part? To form one, you just use the base form of the verb. That's it. No subject, no S, no ing. Just the verb itself. Read this book. Help. Get up. It's incredibly direct.
And making a negative command is just as easy. You take your base verb and you just pop don't right in front of it. Don't eat that cake. Don't touch it. The structure is so simple and consistent. Of course, commands can sometimes sound a little bit rude, right? So this slide shows how we can soften them up. A simple command, close the door, becomes way more polite with please. And if you want to include yourself and make a friendly suggestion, you use let's. Like, it's sunny today, let's go out.
So what's the big takeaway here? Well, you now have the core tools to describe both the foundation of your life, your routines, and all the action that's happening right on top of it. And to put it to work immediately,